to Saul. Not was God unhappy, but God already told Samuel that Saul would be replaced as a king. So the prophet Samuel already knew from God that Saul gonna go as a king. This was not an easy task for Samuel. You know, he actually feared Saul. He was really upset about it. And when he heard the bad news, you know why? Because Saul was a warrior. He was a fighter, and he had a temper. Now, just imagine you go as a prophet there, and you're going to tell him, "Hey, you're not going to be king any longer. You're going to be going down. God is mad with you," and I don't know. That's quite a task to do. He listened to what God said and followed through. Samuel had been born to follow God's call. No matter what, Samuel the prophet did what God told him to do, no matter what the consequences were. Okay, it says in 1 Samuel, actually this is a very nice, I picked another little story what is fairly easier to understand, because many times when you talk, it's almost like talking politics. You're talking and you're talking and you cannot put the things together from the different leaders from our different provinces and this and who is he. We don't even know who is governing British Columbia properly, or unless we've seen it just recently on the news. So it's very hard to understand sometimes who is who. And that is really, right at the beginning I forgot to say that there was a high priest, and that was Eli. So Samuel was under a high priest. There was an order also. So all of that is good to find out when, who is who. Who is Saul? Who is Samuel? Who is Eli? And when you see a new name in the Bible, it is sometimes very wary to find out who that person is. But it's beneficial if you really want to know. I picked a little story there, which is found in Samuel in the 3rd chapter. And that's a beautiful little story. And we have to all write an essay on it. That means even Leonard has to write one of the little story now. Yeah. It's found in 1 Samuel in the 3rd chapter. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli. And the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision. As I said, Eli was a high priest and the last of the judges. And like I say, it's very nice when you see that and you start reading to find out who is who. And it came to pass that at the time when Eli was laid down in his place, and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see, and ere the lamp of God went out in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was, and Samuel was laid down to sleep. So basically, it's nighttime, we're all going to sleep now. Not here. No. Okay, then the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, "Here am I." And he ran to Eli. He ran to him and said, "Here am I, for thou callest me." And he said, "I called you not. Well, go lie down again." And he went and lied down again. And the Lord called yet again, "Samuel." And Samuel rose up and he went to the high priest Eli again. And he said, "Here am I, for thou didst call me." And he answered, Eli answers, very simple, "I called not, my son. Lie down again." Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him. And the Lord called Samuel again the 3rd time. And he arose and went to Eli again. And he said, Here am I, for thou hast called me." And Eli perceived that the Lord has called the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, "Go lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth." So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood and called at the same as the other times, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Behold, I will do this thing in Israel, at which both the ears of everyone that heareth it, shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning this house. When I begin, I will also make an end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever, for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli, that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offerings ever. And Samuel lay down unto the morning, and opened the door of the house of the Lord. And Samuel feared to shew Eli the vision. And Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, Here am I. And he said, What is the thing that the Lord has said unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me. Go, do so to thee, and more also. If thou hide anything from me, or all the things that he said unto thee. In other words, come on, please tell me, don't hide anything. And Samuel told him every whit, and hid nothing from him. And he said, It is the God, it is the Lord. Let him do what seemeth him good. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground. That's another very key. None of his words were falling to the ground. That means that he kept it in his heart, and most likely wrote a lot of them down. And all Israel from then even unto Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord.